Greetings, Patriots. Here's our test review. Please make sure that you use the test review to go back and look at your answers. You should always attempt your reviews first on your own and then use this video to check your answers. Okay, so our first value here is 0.75. Well, I know that natural numbers are only positive and don't have decimal values. Whole numbers are positive as well and don't have decimal values or fractions, and integers are positive and negative values, but they don't have any fractions or decimals. And rational numbers is all of those things. They're positive, they're negative, they have decimal values, they have fractions included. So 0.75 or 75 hundredths only can be classified as a rational number. -8, well, I know because of the properties of natural and whole, it would not fall there, but it definitely would be an integer because it is the first time that we see our negative values. And because it can be written as a fraction, -8/1, it also is rational. Remember to refer back to your little graphic organizer to help you make those decisions as we move from natural to whole to rational values. Okay? Remember that graphic organizer, it's really helpful. 6 divided by 3, well, if I actually divide that out, I know that's equal to 2. And I know that it's positive, it doesn't have a decimal, so it definitely is a counting number or natural number. And because it's a natural number, according to my subset graphic organizer, I know it's going to be a part of the set of whole numbers, integers, and rational values. So that's where your check mark should have gone. All right, let's go ahead and look at problem number 4. Well, here they've given me set A and set B, and I know set A represents the integer family and set B represents natural values. Okay, so it says to place the following numbers in each of the Venn diagrams according to their set or subset. Be sure to read and label what each diagram represents. Remember, it's important to label. So 4.5, I know because of that decimal, it cannot be an integer or a natural number. -7, though, can definitely be an integer, so I know -7 goes there. +10 is a natural number, and because it's a natural number, it also belongs to the set of integers. And 0, well, I know 0 is not a natural number because natural numbers start with the number 1, but it definitely is a part of the integer family because it is a whole number. Okay, next we're going to go label set A as rational numbers and set B as whole numbers. So our rational numbers are 4.5. That is a rational number because it's a decimal. Our whole numbers, well, -7 is not a whole number because whole numbers are only positive, but 10 would be a whole number and it would also be a rational value. Okay, so 10 is a whole number and it's rational. Remember your graphic organizer. 0 is also a whole number and it's also rational. Okay, last one. Set A represents our whole numbers and set B represents natural, so they must be positive and start with 1. So natural numbers, the only natural number I see here is 10 from the 4 numbers I've been given, and I know 10 is also a whole number. Whole numbers can only be positive and include 0, so I know 0 is definitely a whole number. But -7 and 4.5 cannot be whole or natural according to their properties. All right, let's go ahead and look at problem number 5. Here you need to write true or false, and for the false statements, you want to explain why one of them might be false. So let's go ahead and look at 5A. 0 divided by 4, well, I know 0 divided by 4 actually equals 0. It's both a whole number and rational. So if I refer back to my graphic organizer and properties, I'm going to agree with that. If I'm a whole number, I'm an integer and I'm also a rational. So this has to be true. Now, rational numbers do not include negatives. I'm going to say that is false because integers is a subset of rational. I know rational numbers can be positive and negative. So I can say that integers, right? Integers are rational values, and therefore integers include negative values. Integers include negative numbers. Sorry, it's a little hard to write with this. Okay, letter C. If a number is natural, it is automatically an integer. Well, I'm going to agree. It is, if I'm a natural, I belong to the integer family. So that is true. 12 divided by 4, well, I want to, remember I told you if I give you a fraction, you guys need to simplify that. So 3 is rational but not whole. Well, I know 3 is actually a natural number. It's a whole number, it's an integer, and it's rational. So this would be false because it belongs to all of those subsets. So it is rational, but it also is whole, okay? All right, let's go ahead and go to problem 6. On problem 6, I've given you some numbers on a number line, and your job is to circle each of the given values that represents only a whole number. Well, I know I can't circle anything to the left of 0 because all of these over here would either be integers or rational values, but 0 definitely is a whole number. 2 would be a whole number because it's not in between anything, and 3.5 would not because it has a decimal. So the only ones that would be correct are 0 and 2. All right, on this next section of your exam, you're going to have to add, subtract, multiply, and divide decimals. So remember, we line up, we bring our decimal down according to our video. So Gary's bank account has $272.40. His mom gives him $50 and he makes that deposit. Remember, we talked about that being like a piggy bank. You're saving money. But then he has to buy some groceries that are worth $86.91. So what is his new account balance? So it seems like I'm going to have to do some adding to see how much money he has in his account, and I'm going to have to do some subtraction. So I know he has $272.40. And we added our $50 because his mom gave him a $50 and he deposited, he put it in his bank account. So when I add these numbers together, I know that he currently has $322.40. But then he has to buy groceries, right? Because he definitely needs to eat. So once he buys $86.91 worth of groceries, his new account balance is going to change a little bit, okay? So we're going to line them up, line up our decimals, bring that down, okay? I know I'm going to have to borrow here, and I'm going to have to borrow once again, right? So 13 take away 9 is 4, and I'm going to have to borrow once again here. 11 take away 6 is 5, and I'm going to have to borrow once again here. And therefore, how much does he have left in his account? He has $235.49, right? If you're not quite sure, you can always go back and add what you got for the difference to the $86.91 to check your answer. So that is how much his account balance is worth. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next problem. Problem 2. Miss Flores bought 18 spiral notebooks. Each notebook that she purchased was 75 cents. So therefore, we want to know how much does she spend on the notebooks total. Well, if each notebook, right, is 75 cents each, then that means I could sit there and add, but I'm going to multiply this because it's a little quicker than that. So remember to ignore your decimals until you get to the product at the end. So 75 cents times 18 is what we're going to have to multiply. Okay? So we know that 8 times 5 is 40. Okay, then you have 8 times 7, which is 56, plus the 4. So 56 plus the 4 gives you 60. 8 times 0 is 0, but I got to bring that 6 over. I'm done multiplying by 8. Now I'm going to go ahead and move my one place value over, and that's going to be 5. That's going to be 1 times 7 and 1 times 0. And when I add this up, okay, I have two numbers behind the decimal, so therefore my total amount spent that Miss Flores spent was $13.50. Well, then Miss Flores decided that she was going to pay with a $20 bill, so she's going to need to get some change back. So here we go. I am now going to have to subtract in order to figure out how much change, because you can't walk out of the store without paying, right, for your bill. So subtract, line up, bring down. Oops, sorry. I made a mistake. And 0 take away 0 is just going to be 0, right? And we know we're going to have 50 cents left over. And I'm going to end up with $6.50. Once again, you can always add what the cost was plus the $6.50 to make sure you end up with these $20. Check your answers if you need to. All right, let's go ahead and look at problem number 3. Nikki is buying some refrigerator magnets for her friends. She must be somewhere, right? And her total bill was $16.80. Each of the magnets cost 80 cents. So we want to know how many she actually bought, right? So again, I've been given the total bill of $16.80. So if each magnet costs me 80 cents, I need to kind of work backwards here a little bit. I need to know 80 cents times how many magnets came out to 1680. So I'm undoing that, and I am going to divide, okay, by 0.80, and which is equivalent to 80 cents, okay? So again, I remember in my rules, I need to definitely make my divisor there a whole number, and however many places I move on the outside, I got to move inside. Miss King personally likes to rewrite this. So when I set mine up, it'll look like this. Okay, bring your decimal straight up. I know that 80 cannot go into 1 or 16, but it definitely can go into 168. And I know that 80 times 2 is 160. And that leaves me with 80 left over, and that would go in one time. So how many magnets did she buy? She bought 21 magnets. Okay, moving on. Let's go ahead and finish the last problem. And this is a multi-step problem, but it's just helping us review all of our adding and subtracting rational numbers and multiplying, dividing. So Shelly, Ellie, and Kelly go out to eat sushi, right? So each sushi roll that they buy costs $8.43. So we got Shelly, Ellie, and Kelly. They agree to buy 4 rolls. So they buy 4 rolls and split the cost evenly between them. After paying, okay, her share for the rolls, Kelly decides to also leave a tip. So how much does Kelly spend altogether? Okay, so let's just think about it. You and your friends go out to eat, right? There's 3 of you guys, and this is how much your rolls cost, and you guys agree to buy 4 of them. So that means you are buying 4 rolls, and each one is $8.43. So first before I divide the bill, I need to figure out what the total amount spent was on sushi rolls, right? So let's go do that first. That means I'm going to multiply here. And to show my work, I'm going to use my whiteboard down here. $8.43 times 4 rolls. I know that's 12, 16, and 17, 32, 33. So they spent, okay, 8 times 4 is 32, so $33.72. $33.72 is what was spent. They split the cost evenly between them. So how many girls are there? There's 3, right? So I'm going to now have to divide. I'm going to have to take, and this happens all the time. So step 1 was my total cost. Step 2, I need to take $33.72 and divide that bill by my 3 friends, right? So when I do that, remember to bring your decimal straight up. I don't have to make my divisor a whole number since it already is that, and I'm going to divide by 3. And I know that 11 times 3 is 33. 3 times, I'll bring down my 7. 3 times 2 is 6, right? And then 3 times 4 is 12. So each of the friends spent $11.24, right? So now let's just focus. After paying her share for the rolls, so Kelly, one of the girls in the group, she decides she's also going to leave a tip. So a tip is leaving an extra amount. Maybe the waiter did a really good job. So we want to know how much she spent altogether. Well, we know that she spent $11.24 on evenly when they split the bill. But now we're going to add that tip, that gratuity, another word for that. And that's going to tell us exactly how much she spent on her bill. So Kelly's bill was $17.48. And it's positive because that's what she spent, $17.48. Okay, Patriots, please work on your review. This will really assist you in doing well on your assessment tomorrow on Tuesday. So work over it, check your answers, and have a great day. Bye-bye.